Meeting to order for Fire District 5 monthly meeting, and it is now 4:01. And we have several people. Public comment. Any questions? Okay, there being none, I would ask for approval of the minutes from the previous meeting of January 12th. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kara. So, Patty.
Yes.
We're ready for
Yeah.
that.
All right, the financial report. Oh, thank you, Chief. Today we have February warrants that total $32,235.51. The total for payroll is $15,562.21. Includes Chief Carlton's salary of $5,541.67 and Chief Shield's pay of $3,333.34. There was one event for each of the commissioners and the board secretary. And the total payout for the volunteers warrants included is $7,500. And I believe you've all been handed out the 2021, the year-end financial statement, along with January for your review. So today I'm just requesting that the warrants and payroll for February be approved as presented.
Questions?
I'd like to go over the US Bank
Yes, please.
for 22,000, which is quite a amount to have on our credit card. So we had two unfortunate events. One was the Tahoe, the front differential went out of it, and that caused over a $3,000 payment, so $3,300 and change. We've put 3 people into EMT training. So 1 advanced EMT and 2 EMTs are now starting up EMT training to Idaho. The advanced EMT is Andrew Borderville. The EMT is a new member. One of the EMTs is a new member of the agency. Her name is Cecilia. She's a West Vancouver police officer, and she's interested in doing more on the medical side and helping her agency also improve on their medical responses to their community in West Vancouver. So she's coming down here and going to go through EMT training with us. And then the second EMT that's going to school is Borislav Bosic, and he's a current member. He's a Vancouver firefighter, continuing on here as a firefighter EMT. So those are the 3 people that we have starting up EMT school. They're all under contract with the district. EMTs have to serve this community for a minimum of a year to pay back the amount we're spending on them to send them to school. Once they get certified at the state level, that's when their contract starts. If they do not finish school, then they owe back the entire amount to us. And the advanced EMT has to serve a minimum of 1.5 years to the community because the cost is more than for EMT. So those contracts have been put in place verbally. They'll be coming in to sign those contracts, but they're up and running in that school at this point. So Puget Sound Energy, obviously during the winter, everything goes up for us for heating this structure. Full speed plumbing. So let me tell you about full speed plumbing. Full speed plumbing, we had a clog in our septic drains here at the fire hall. We had a few weeks back, we had some toilets overflowing, and we seemed to get a handle on it except for 2 toilets at the time. So I called around to all the county plumbing agencies, all the ones that were in the phone book, other ones that I heard of through word of mouth. No one was willing to come here and serve Point Roberts, even though it was an emergency services agency asking for that help. And we were a guaranteed pay, basically, for them. no one had people that could, one, cross the border because of past issues with their driving records. And two, they didn't have bond issues, so they could travel across in their vehicles, in their trucks to be bonded through Canada. Number three, they just didn't have the personnel available because there's a work shortage down in the county for plumbers as well, with almost other type of restaurants, business, et cetera, that's out there looking for employees. So I went all the way down to Mount Vernon and found Full Speed Plumbing. I've never received the level of customer care from anyone else that I received from Full Speed Plumbing. And they spent an hour and a half on the phone, the first phone call with me. It's a family-owned business, and they went above and beyond, way above and beyond, trying to help configure a plan for this. So what happened was, again, they didn't have a bond in order to travel through Canada. We worked out to where we were able to load up the equipment necessary for them to clean out our pipes here at the station and fix the clog. We had to load that up, bring it up in one of the district's vehicles, and then we had to fly their plumber from Bellingham on San Juan Air. We had to fly them into the community. We picked them up at the airport. They came here for about 6-7 hours that day. They videotaped all of our pipes, and they corrected the clog that we had as well. They did find some settling in the pipes that lead out to the septic system. There's about 10 feet from the building outside. There is a settling, meaning that the support ground structure underneath the pipe probably has settled a little bit, which has dropped the pipe, causing water to pool in that area. But our duties are still making it to the septic tank. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So depending on where they're coming from, the clog seemed to be from paper towels. It looked like people were flushing actual paper towels down our toilets. So we're not sure where that's coming from or who's doing that. But we hope that it doesn't continue. If we have the public utilizing our facilities, we hope that the public utilizes the toilet paper, doesn't flush disposable items or feminine items down our toilets, or flushable wipes, because most flushable wipes don't dissolve and they stack up. So anyway, that caused us to have an expenditure that we had no plans for. And therefore, I'm 2% off my budget so far for the year of 2022. And I just wanted to explain a little bit about where some of those costs were coming from. So that's, if I'll take any questions on that from the commissioners, if you have any.
Well, just like saying me indicating they didn't come back.
Yeah, so we're reaching out to the installer of the septic field. We'll be having him come up when he's available in the next, hopefully, few weeks, if not the month of March, and have him look at it, because we have video of the pipe and going into water. And then the output pipe that's actually in the septic tank, it is actually tilted up, so backwards, where it should be tilted neutral or down a little bit to go into the tank. But again, our excrements are getting to the tank. Does that make sense? So the tank is still filling up, and the backup wasn't from the tank. It was actually a clog within the station that caused us to flood twice over the last 3 weeks down here. So anyway, that's that. And I'll obviously update you when the septic installer that put our system in is able to come up and take a look at the system and see what the remedy is going to have to be in order to correct that downsloping, the settling of that pipe, and the angle of the pipe going into the septic tank itself. Mm-hmm. And I'll update you once I have more information on that. The grade. grade. It seems to have sunk in an area, so it's bowing in an area about 10 feet outside this building, going to the septic tank. So, but we have good film of it. So that's really nice. I don't think, he looked at all of our other pipes that he could access and everything looked clear to him. And all the metal, what are those? The metal, what's that called? The cast iron pipes, he said all look really good. So sometimes you can have big problems with cast iron pipes. And at this point we don't, so, okay. So that's pretty much what I wanted to extend on to that.
Any other questions?
No,
You want to make a motion to accept the
I'll make a motion to accept
warrants?
or plumbing issues that happened.
You accept those.
Linda, are you able to hear?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure you can hear the commissioners. I'm a little ways away from them, so just making sure you can hear them.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to correspondence.
No correspondence.
Oh, I apologize. I have a couple other things I was urgent to finish.
Go ahead, Patty.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, just an overall that stated on the financial report, as of the end of January, we had 90.85% left in the budget. And that was in comparison to 92.16% as of last year. And also I wanted to give a year-end report that the remaining carryover balance left over from the 2021 budget is $77,826.13. That's available to transfer into the district's capital investment account. So if the board would use, I will transfer that over from one fund to the other, and that will be earning interest and go towards future capital projects.
Do you need a motion for that, or it's just automatic?
If you make a motion, that would be great. Yeah, typically we usually do.
I'll move that we pay
But we just transfer the remaining.
transfer the sum to the account. Which account?
Capital.
Capital account, sorry, I got off. Yeah, I move that we transfer that. Is that all right with you, sir? Okay. Good, thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. And then other item, and I don't know, I can either go over it now or wait and go over it under new business. It's to void and cancel a warrant.
Okay.
We're in finance, so probably just have Patty do it now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. My request is to cancel a lost warrant, and it's payable to Saltwater Cafe. It was dated December 14th of 2021 in the amount of $1,122.82. It was lost in the mail. She never received it, contacted me earlier this week and was able to get me the signed notarized affidavit. So upon receiving that, I did double check with the county. It has not been cashed. And I added it back into the February payables to be reissued.
Okay.
I just need a motion and a second to approve voiding number 1137590.
Okay. That's taken care of. Okay, do you have anything else, Patty?
Can we hang on just a second? Patty, I'm going to repeat the warrant
Yes.
number you're canceling is 1137590.
Correct.
And I did not hear the motion. So who made the motion to?
Patty, and I second it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's everything I have. Thank you.
Okay, so moving along now. No, chief, we're ready to report?
So yeah, correspondence, we really don't have any. Obviously, I get emails concerning COVID vaccinations and testing, but that's pretty much it. So nothing to bring to your attention.
Okay, so your report.
So this is my chief's report. I'll be adding in a couple things in point of information, but chief's report for February 2022 for the month of January 2022. So we continue doing COVID testing on Sundays and Wednesdays from 9 to 11 a.m. As a group, the team that is providing that, we've started discussion about maybe lessening that to an hour each of those days for Sundays and Wednesdays. The reason why is at this point, we're getting maybe 20 to 30 people coming in to the event versus the 150 to 200 people that we were getting when we had the spikes in Delta and also the Omicron variant. So that is still being discussed and looked into. If we decide to change the times, obviously that will have to be posted for a month period, at least for the public to know that, and the times that it's changing to. Vaccine event is February 13th. We're using Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J, and we'll hopefully be able to continue. Today, we received some news about Pfizer. We're confirming that news, and we hope that we're able to still utilize the lot number that we have. So we'll be looking into that over the next couple of days. There's nothing to report. I already reported off the credit card that Chief 58 had an issue with its front differential and had to get that repaired. But nothing else to report on any of the apparatus that we currently have. We have 43 members, 28 Canadian, 10 Point Roberts, and 5 county. We have 4 paramedics on staff, 11 EMTs, of which 5 are advanced EMTs, 2 ambassadors, and 34 firefighters of that group. Volunteer hours for the month of January were 1,852. Volunteer payroll, if all firefighters were getting paid, 10,702. Combined chief hours, I worked 194.5. Assistant Chief Shields, 136, with a combined hours of 330.5. My hours were pretty high in the month of January, and that's because at this point we're offering national courses. So we did AMLS, Advanced Medical Life Support, and PHTLS, which is Pre-Hospital Trauma Life Support, in the month of January. We have 2 courses this month. The next course is PEP, which is a pediatric education course for our EMTs, advanced EMTs, EMRs, PCPs, et cetera. And then at the end of the month, we have ACLS, Advanced Cardiac Life Support. And then in March, we have PALS, Pediatric Advanced Life Support. So I teach those courses at a national level. So that's giving me additional time spending here at the district. So my hours will probably be higher than closer to the 160 through the end of March.
What would it cost if we had to bring someone in?
Average cost is $200 per student. So, and that's for any of these certifications. So they charge about 200 plus books or another 80 per student. So you're looking at $280 per student per course. And we average 6 to 8 students per course with the EMTs and advanced EMTs and firefighters that holds advanced credentialing in Canada. So it would be in the range of $1,500 to $2,000 per course to bring that into this agency. So yeah, I love teaching and I love holding these national credentials as instructor. So I'm happy to bring that education here for this district. Total calls in the month of January were 34. EMS calls were 16. We had 6 transports to St. Joseph's Hospital by this agency. We had 7 no transports. We had 2 county transfers and 1 transfer to North Whatcom Fire Rescue BLS unit specifically. Community paramedic calls. We did 10 visits to homes in our community. We had 3 public service. We had 5 calls that met the classification for our fire. We had 1 permitted and 1 illegal burn in the month of January. We had 1 smoke investigation. Going down the list, we had 1 water problem which was a burst pipe. Yeah, it was a burst pipe. So that concludes my chief's report for the month of January for February 2022. I'll take any questions if you have any.
No question. Move that we accept the report.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have no questions either. Busy month. You're going to review the capital facilities plan?
Yes, so I talked to the county already to the person, Matt Ammett, who helped me put the current plan in place. And he directed me that in 23, the county's doing a rework on building construction and new housing and a new estimate for this area. So he was wondering if I wanted to wait until 2023 to do a full rendition of the report, or I've received numbers from Patty that I could provide him to see if those areas, if we're in line with what we expected, if we're ahead in budgeting, or if we're falling behind in budgeting. Right now, that plan shows basically through 3036 a deficit of over $300,000 if the plan would go as stated. We are looking at going basically net zero, I believe, in 2028. 2028, and I could be wrong off of a year, so please bear with me. I think it's 2028 that we go net with our budget, and we start going deficit after 2028. So obviously there's a lot of capital facilities, things that we need to do to the station. I'll be looking into possible grants. One would be through the Department of Agriculture, USDA, actually does fire station refurbishment grants. Yeah, the USDA, how they got a hold of that, I don't know. But I would be putting in for a grant to extend the apparatus bays where the fire trucks currently sit, the two red ones, extend the upstairs out, provide independent bedrooms for our firefighters, because we are getting more women on the agencies. And I think right now, the circumstances that we have upstairs are not equitable for our members, whether male or female, to have privacy. We usually have 4 or 5 firefighters sleeping in the same room in a bunk bed situation that we currently have. We do make one of the rooms available for the females if they're on duty, that they do get a room by themselves. But again, the equitable solution to that is to try to expand the station, build out, provide 2 more apparatus bays, because at this point, we don't have enough apparatus bays to house all the equipment that we currently have. And that's a WSRB issue, that if we have apparatus sitting outside, that is a deduction in point value as well. So we're supposed to have all of our apparatus under a roof, and currently we don't. That's going to get worse as the years go by, when we buy new ambulances, possibly turn in 850-802 to a cascade system, and do something else with Scooby-Doo. The orange van, Scooby-Doo. I think everybody knows what Scooby-Doo is. And being able to expand out, adjust the upstairs, provide independent living space, bedrooms for the firefighters is really what we need to do. Our members work extremely hard. They deserve to have better privacy than they currently have. That will probably mean that we'll have to retrograde the entire station with fire sprinkler systems. And that would be part of the grant, or we'd be writing in the grant that retrofit as well. So that's looking down the line at this point.
What are you anticipating for possible costs?
When we did the expansion here.
Speak up, John.
Did the expansion to the 8 days here and that stuff, that was over 400. So I would just ballpark probably 1.
So I would say 1 to 1.5
Yeah.
is what it's going to take to expand that out. Have the retrofit of sprinkler systems inside the station, have the exhaust evacuation systems. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, just not the building itself, right? The building itself is easy, but it's everything else that has to meet code for a fire station and the things we need to put into to protect people from cancer, because we would have to extend the exhaust evacuation systems to the new 2 bays that would be developed out of that too. And that's probably over $40,000 just to do that itself. So I'll be looking into that more. I don't know how optimistic I'll be about getting a USDA grant to refurbish this station. So at that point, the monies would have to come from somewhere else. So just to let everybody know, throughout my budget, we had $77,000 in reserve capacity this year that we're putting into capital, as was stated in the financial report through Patty. But that money as well, I'm doing without a lot of things that need to be done to try to save that amount of money within this district and to put some into capital. And I would say that my volunteers are going without in some areas, trying to save that money too.
This is off the record, but how much do you think that the fire department has been spending for the COVID program?
Thanks for bringing that up. So our line budget item for COVID, I believe, is 20,000, and we sustained that. The good news on that is I'm working with the Department of Emergency Management through Washington State Military, and we will hopefully be able to get reimbursed for the majority of that. So right now, I think we're close to $50,000 that we've expended on COVID expenditures. That's a lot of that is on PPE, masks, gowns, gloves, hand sanitizer, those types of things, plus anything that we utilize on calls. So medications, any calls that dealt with shortness of breath, cardiac chest pain, those are classified underneath the federal proclamation of being potential COVID patients. So we're able to put in, and we have thus far, we'll have to update it, but we put in our apparatus hours, we can get reimbursed for as well. Our personnel time, we can get reimbursed for as well. And then obviously any medical invoices that I spend money on, I'll, and certain items within those, not probably all, but they can be part of the reimbursement program. So they've made a list for us. They have to turn that over to another agency. That agency approves or disapproves. They can cherry pick too. They won't just disapprove the entire thing, but they may go through the list and state that these items don't meet the proclamation definition, right? Or the federal government definition of COVID supplies. So they may take those out. So we may get a reduction, right? But right now we have close to 50,000. So if we were able to get that reimbursement, it would be $50-some thousand that could be returned to this district and go into capital reserves. So that's a positive thing.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Any other questions?
Anything else?
Chief, when you said that you're looking into getting reimbursement from the Federal Emergency Agency, is that FEMA?
It's Washington State. No, FEMA has a program as well.
Washington State, okay.
Yeah, FEMA has a program as well. It all goes through feds. It's just depending who your middle person is.
Okay.
I was contacted by FEMA, but I had already made an agreement with Washington State Department of Emergency Management.
Department of Emergency Management.
I'm currently working with them. And they've been very, very helpful, very easy to work with. And it's just me keeping track of the invoices and turning them over so they can add it to our list.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else you have on that, Chief?
I don't think so. I think I'll stop there.
Okay. Unfinished business. Anything we need to bring up?
We have anything, John, that needs to be brought up?
No.
I don't think we had anything from last month, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Well, we'll move into new business, and this is going to be, we are just anticipating a new fire commission. And we have 4 people who have turned in resumes. And what I'd like to be able to do is, if we can, there are 3 of the 4 here. If you'd like to give a 2-minute statement of why you'd like to be a fire commissioner, it would allow us to have a little more information about each of the applicants. So I'm looking in the far left corner, and I don't know who is that?
That's Sevilla.
Oh, that's Sevilla. Okay. Shall
So-
we start with Sevilla?
Sevilla, you got 2 minutes to tell us why you would like to be a commissioner and how you would serve the community in that capacity. So I'll start the timer, and when I tell you you're done, I'm going to hook you and kick you off. So,
Okay. Right out of the gate, you're starting with me. All right. Hi, I'm Sevilla. I think I know most of you. And I've been a part of the community for about 12 years now. And I like to volunteer my time wherever I can and help out. I don't have much experience with, the actual training, EMT, paramedic, anything like that. I have no fire background, but I do like to help the community in any way I can. And I tend to think that I have an unbiased view, and I like to hear both sides and like to get as much education and information I can before making a decision on anything. And that's pretty much it.
Thank
Okay.
you. Any questions? Okay, all right. Moving across the top, it looks like, no, that's done.
we have Bill Mersing in the middle,
Bill would
and
be the next.
we have
one.
Dina next
Thank you.
to Bill. So Bill, you're up.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Commissioners and Chief, for allowing me this opportunity. As you know, I have been, or most of you know, I'm Commissioner at this district for, I believe, 15 years. I did that with dedication and extreme joy. It was definitely a learning curve for me. And this commission is probably forever a learning curve, because there's always something new. Like we're talking about a remodeling of a building. A lot of money goes into that. A lot of money needs to be finding its place where to spend it, and finding the agencies who are willing to spend it with us. I've always had a good dialogue, I think, with the commissioners that I have served with. I have had a very good dialogue with Christopher. Of course, we had, if you have in any discussion, we have our misunderstandings, we have our differences in opinion. But that's normal life. Again, I would be extremely pleased if the commissioners could appoint me or reappoint me or whatever, however you call it, as the vacancy that is being created so far. I have been a volunteer firefighter in San Juan County, Friday Harbor, for about 3 years, I think. So I have a long history with the fire department, or different fire departments.
Okay, Bill. Yeah.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Okay,
Okay, let's see, next is,
Dina.
that is Dina, okay.
Hi, I'm Dina Boyku. I think most of you know me. I wrote a little something. It's a pleasure to be here. I was a resident of Point Roberts as a child, and now as an adult, I've been a full-time resident for 18 years and love living here. Want to thank you for your consideration for considering me to join the board. I just want to thank the fire department for their service to our community. It's most commendable, especially during this pandemic. Also, as far as board experience, well, as a founding member of Circle of Care and on the board for 4 years, and I was very happy to be creating something that was a viable resource that was, desperately needed in our community. And I've sat on other boards, the Delta Skating Club for 12 years, 3 years as president, and I enjoy working with the team in a team environment towards a common goal. And I'm always happy to be able to give back and to our community. And I feel that this is a very vital, important service in our community that I would love to be a part of. Thank you.
There's a fourth person who is not able to be here. His name is Norm Katz. I don't have any of the material on him.
No.
Unfortunately, he's traveling and he's supposed to be back, but he's not back today, so. And I guess he wasn't able to hook up to the network, so. At this point, thank you, all of you who have spent today with us and offering to participate with us at a further time. We are going to go into a executive session. So if you can all hang around, we'll be out for probably about 20 minutes.
So after 20 minutes, the executive session will come back in, we'll reconvene the meeting, and the commissioners will discuss the candidates in an open meeting. Okay, so
And it's 4:37.
So 4:37, so we'll say 5 o'clock.
Yeah, 5.
So 5 o'clock, we'll re-adjourn.
Thank you.
So can we go in the other room?
Oh, somebody has a lot of background noise.
I had a lot of background noise because I've got 2 dogs here.
Okay, thanks, Bill. He had 2 dogs, so,
Oh,
but
okay. Are we ready to go again?
we are recording, so we are ready to go again.
Okay. Back to order at 5:10 p.m. And we, first of all, I want to say thank you to all of you who have put your name in the kitty and extended yourself. And I think we had 4 really great candidates. That's a tough one. The chief said if we had only one, it would be easy. So after a considerable deliberation, thank you to all of you. And we have decided on Norm Katz, who unfortunately is not here, and so you're not even having a chance to meet. And we would like very much to he'll be here at the next meeting, so you can get to know him at that time. And thank you all for your consideration, and there will be openings again, so keep us in mind.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, Chief, would you like to say anything?
Before we move on, is it KATZ?
JTC,
Thanks.
and it's Norman. Is there any other business that we need to take care of? Nope. Okay, with that in mind, I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 5:12.
I second that.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good evening.